Just this year, I saw a big drug deal in the bathroom and stuff. I hear about it with my friends all the time.
You know what? There is a big moan and groan about the pressure. If you have some reaction to that up here on the stage, yes.
Well, it depends on your friends. I mean, if you pick friends that are all using drugs, sure, there's going to be a pressure. Or if you have friends that are all drug dealers, there's going to be intense pressure.
But is there dealing on campus? We understand that dealers even are... I mean, are we talking dealing and taking orders in class?
Well, I mean, I've never seen it happen. I know people that walk around...
Has anybody ever seen it happen where we're taking orders, we have dealing... stand up here, please. Yes, sir.
That is very true. When you walk down the hall, they ask you, do you want to buy some hovers or you want to buy some crack in the bathroom and stuff? That has happened to me personally.
What about, Eric, what about beepers? Is that a reality here at the campus?
Yes, it is a reality at this school. I see a lot of students walking around with beepers.
And what do they do with those beepers?
Well, really, they don't do anything. They, just like to flash their beepers out and be known a lot.
And we should explain the beepers are like doctors wear when they need to get a call for...
right. So what are they wearing them for?
Well, you really can't say. Maybe drug deals, but you never really can say what they're wearing them for. Myself, I never, ever in my life at this school been approached by anybody trying to sell drugs to me. I'm not saying it's not a drug problem at this school, but I never in my life been approached by somebody trying to sell me drugs.
A lot of people talk about peer pressure to use drugs, but the pressure doesn't come as much from friends to use drugs. It's pressure within yourself to, like, try and fit in with all your friends. I mean, if you don't want to use drugs, if you want to stand up to your friends, you can, but you have to have the strength to do that. And, I mean, it's not like friends saying, oh, come on, try it, it's not going to hurt you. It's people saying, I don't want to look like a geek, I'm going to try drugs.
Hillary.
There's definitely drug use, and I think that's the problem, but I don't think peer pressure is a problem.
You don't feel like you need to do it to be with the in-crowd?
No, I think if somebody doesn't want to do drugs, they have the option not to.
Richard.
Okay, I think certainly we have a drug problem here at school, but there's a drug problem in the totality of society. And we see some of that reflected in the schools. It's a very small percentage of students that are actually dealing in the drug world, and we get some of that feedback. Some kids are getting, get killed, etc. We feel that just like the rest of society does.
And I think people watching have to understand, I'm not watching the problem at Berkeley High School. Please know that problem is going on in the high school, whatever is reflected here in the neighborhood you live in, too.
Correct.
Celia.
Yes, I think that the drug problem starts with the adults because there's no child that can go out of the U.S. and go get drugs and bring them back here and sell them to their friends.
So you're saying that adults come on this campus and sell drugs?
No, they go out in the streets and sell drugs to the youth that come on this campus and sell drugs.
So there's a whole main line, is that what you're saying?
Shannon.
Well, I feel like this. If you have friends that pressure you under drugs, you have a mind of your own, right? Okay, your friends will respect the fact that you don't want to try drugs, so you don't have to. If they're your friends, they're going to respect you, and you don't have to do it. Also, I would like to say I've never personally seen anyone, selling drugs on campus. Of course, I see guys here and there with beepers on, but I've never actually seen someone trying to
And we'll be
drugs.
right back after these messages.
Families like ours share a lot of good things. The same history, the same traditions, the same values. But I just discovered something else we share that's not so wonderful. Several studies show that many of us tend to have a lot of tartar. It's a problem, but you can handle it with this. Tartar Control Crest. See, hard, ugly tartar makes cleaning teeth properly more difficult. And if you don't clean them right, they can look ugly. But Tartar Control Crest helps keep your teeth free from ugly tartar buildup between dental cleanings. In fact, more dentists recommend it for fighting tartar than any other toothpaste. If you're anything like me, When your family has a problem, you take care of it. And with Tartar Control Crest, you can.
Tartar Control Crest with fluoride in the shiny silver box. The dentist's choice to help keep teeth tartar-free.
Honest to goodness sake, honest to goodness front, honest to goodness genuine fun every time you want to munch.
In a world full of so sweet snacks, moms do have a choice. Candy Snacks, an American classic. Real craft, wholesome ingredients and fun to make.
Honest to goodness genuine fun. That Candy Snacks.
Honest to goodness.
Join us in our studio audience. For your free tickets, call 478-KPIX. That's 478-KPIX. We are live from Berkeley High School this morning on People Are Talking. When your principal, who is new this year, Ken Shearer, took over, he built a fence around the school. What is the reaction to the fence, and how has it affected you as a student at Berkeley High School? Gabriel.
Well, I think that the fence on Berkeley High is really dumb because it doesn't do anything, and people can just jump the fence, and I don't think that we need to be protected from anyone because I just don't think it's necessary because I have not seen any effects that it's had on the school.
Sonny, you had a comment you wanted to make about stereotypes before we continue on with the fence.
Yeah.
And we're just hanging out here together, okay?
Basically, what I was trying to say was that being a black male, I can just walk down the street and I have on my clothes and stuff, and somebody will say, "Oh, he looks nice. He's a drug dealer." You know, just for being black, walking down the street. And I can recall one instance when I was walking down the street, and a certain police officer just happened to think he knew me and approached me and was talking like I was some kind of criminal.
Because you look nice, you dress well, they automatically make that assumption that you must be selling drugs. Is that it?
Be selling drugs.
Thank you.
Yeah, Rebecca.
About the fence? About the fence, I mean, the fence just gives an attitude about the school like it's a prison. It's really ugly from my opinion. It does not keep anyone from leaving. I mean, I leave early from school just because of my schedule, and I walk right out, and I see herds of people walking right out the door.
But Rebecca, let's face it, Berkeley High last year had some problems. They had people going outside, people going into the classrooms, beating up students, messing around with teachers. The fence gives it possibly a little more control.
Maybe from the people outside. As for people coming in and, all the violence that they were talking about, I never saw anyone. I mean, a few people did, and I know that it did happen, but I never saw any of it.
Thank you.
Nora.
Okay, about what Asante said about a black male getting approached, that I think that it should be clarified here now that the drug problem is not a black problem. I see a lot of white people at this school using drugs, and that's not ever said. There's a lot... It's the black people that are focused on, but there's a lot of white drug problem here, too. And also what you should make clear is alcohol is a drug problem also. And if you say that, then everyone in the school can raise their hand and say they have a problem.
Thanks, Nora.
Yes, Jessica.
Well, about the fence, I mean, it doesn't... If kids want to cut school and all that stuff, the fence is... You should be able to choose your freedom, whether... Your judgment should be well enough to say, well... Yeah, I think I should cut school or not. The fence it doesn't let you make your own decisions and your own judgments about things.
Willetta.
One of the things I would like to say about the so-called drug problem, I recognize, what people are saying and how you can recognize people.
So you don't see any evidence of that in your classroom?
Not in the classroom. I've been here 19 years, and I could say that I've probably seen less than 5 students in my classes that appear to be on drugs or alcohol.
Chris.
Well, first of all, they said the fence is going to be open before school and after school. So those of us who want to come in can come in. Those of us who want to go out can come out. And recently, for the last month, there's been a fence over there which I've used every day, and I've had to crawl over it every day because they have not opened that fence for me.
Chris.
Well, the fence might not be so bad, but it just shows the attitude of the administration. This fence is supposed to be for the students, but there was no discussion with any students before it was put up. We came to school, and the fence was being put up. And
you mean at student council they never came to you and talked about it?
No, and they just put it up, and this is supposed to be for the good of the students, but if the students aren't even aware that this is happening, it's a huge change at the campus, and the students have to be involved in decisions like that.
I think the fence is doing a lot of good because we want to solve the tracking problem. And I think, especially as a ninth grader, you don't know enough. Cutting seems, hey, I don't have to go to class, that's great. This will make people go to class so they don't flunk and they're put in the lower track classes and we can have more people graduate from Berkeley High.
Thank you.
All right, Ed.
Yes. First of all, let me say that the fence, as far as the administrators are concerned, last year when we had all of our problems, we got together and we talked about trying to come up with different ways that we could be held accountable for the safety of our young people. One of the ways we talked about, we had to have an environment that we could control. We could keep the other people, unwanted people outside, keep our people inside, so we can protect them. This is why the administrators voted unanimously to have the fence. Also, last year we talked to some of the students, some of our student council members about the fence. So it wasn't something that just say overnight happened.
Thanks, Ed.
Let's talk to Ken Shearer, the principal of the school, who is responsible for the fence.
Well, I think that when I came on board, that we met with a number of people from the city community, and the major factor that we had to solve immediately was school safety. You cannot learn adequately if you have any fear whatsoever for your safety in walking the halls. Teachers cannot teach if students are not in class and if they feel unsafe. So that was our number one priority. Secondly, we knew that in all of California, not just Berkeley, but all of California, and probably throughout the nation, that school safety is a real concern of the public. The gangs are here. They're not as bad in this area as they are in some areas of the state, but we had to do everything humanly possible to keep the bad element away from this learning institution.
And the first point you brought up was the fear that some may have to come to school. The unsafe conditions, the lack of control. After a commercial break, let's see if any of you have fear about coming to school. We'll be back. Thank you, Ken.
June Allison for Japan.
Enjoying life is so much easier when you have the best bladder control protection. New Depend undergarments has special layers of absorbency that won't bunch or sag, and elastic legs for a better fit. It's simply the best protection you can get. More people trust Depend, and you can too. Get back into life. Get back into life with Depend.
Another day is turned to night. Close your eyes, say goodnight.
Salmonex has the one ingredient doctors recommend most to help you fall asleep safely without worry. Salmonex.
Good night.
X-Lax presents a gentle guarantee. A guarantee that X-Lax works gently by 8 a.m. when taken at bedtime or your money back. A promise you can count on. X-Lax, guaranteed complete relief by 8 a.m.
Believe it or not, some people can't wait even 10 minutes for warm home-baked bread. After all, bread du jour comes packaged fresh and partially baked. So it's just 10 little minutes to hot, tempting bread du jour French bread. 10 haunting minutes to crusty Italian rolls. 10 long minutes to steaming Austrian wheat, while the aroma entices and feasts.
Bread du jour. Home-baked bread in just 10 long minutes.
Where you gonna find that second store that price that really low? Not if you do, but here's a thought for you. There's a really great place to go. KPIX Store. We got the toys and the price you're looking for.
Make KB your headquarters for all the exciting video game cartridges from Atari. We've got a huge selection at prices that are hard to beat.
KPIX Store. We got the toys and the price you're looking for.
We're live at Berkeley High School this morning. We're talking about the fence which went up around Berkeley High School and whether or not you feel safe, or, Gabriella, are you ever frightened to come to school?
Well, I've been going to private school my whole life, and all these people were telling me, well, there's so much violence and so much drugs, and at first, when I first came here, I was really afraid that something was going to happen to me, and now that I've come here, I find out that it really is a load of crap.
Why?
Well, and so it's
it's completely safe, the fence. If somebody really wants to get in or really wants to get out, a 2-foot fence is not going to keep them in or out.
Why?
Yes. Well, when I first saw the fence coming up, at first I thought that it was going to be a big fence like they have at Fremont or Tech. This fence, I mean, it's just a waste of money. It doesn't make a difference because, I mean, people can just jump over it.
We're talking a low hurdle here.
Yeah, I mean, you can even do a wheel cart over the fence. I mean, it doesn't make a difference. That's just a waste of money. If we were going to put a fence in the first place, it should have been a big fence. And, I mean, about safety, I mean, if other people are going to come in here and sell drugs and stuff like that, they can jump over the fence, too, or go around it. It's just, I mean, just like an obstacle for people to just stand in their way.
Thank you, Juan.
Cuba.
I mean, if you're talking about feeling safe at Berkeley High, if you feel unsafe, that's your problem. You must be paranoid and neurotic. I mean, this is Berkeley High. This ain't Acorn. This ain't 69 or anything. This is Berkeley High. If you're paranoid, if you're neurotic, that's your own problem.
Emilio.
Yeah, I was judged by a lot of teachers up here at Berkeley High. Just because, you know, the way I am. Because they say, well, the Mexicans hang out at the Donahue gym. No, not all of the Mexicans. Some of us do go to class, and some of us are going to graduate this year. Also, about drug dealing, I was being told by some of the red coats, oh, you drug dealing because you dress like that now. No, they're wrong. I work for my money, and I want to say one thing. I'm a graduate.
Jonathan. Jonathan, you say that's not true what he said.
Yeah, I don't believe at all that it's your own paranoia or whatever because I was mugged my first Friday at Berkeley High School, and I've seen other people mugged while whoever was walking through the hallways and beating up the students.
But do you think this is exclusive to Berkeley High School? This could happen in any high school.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
What is happening here?
Last year I didn't feel any effects of, I didn't notice people who came on campus, and this year I haven't noticed any either, and I haven't had any trouble getting off campus or getting on campus at any time, and I don't know if the people who we're talking about who they're trying to keep off campus have had any problem, but, so I haven't felt any effects from the fence, except that it seems like all the money that was spent on the fence could have been used for so many better things.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, you know what? We're going to take a commercial break here, and when we come back, maybe we're going to find out whether or not the students at Berkeley High School are turned on by what they're learning right after this.
Hi, I'm Karen Dalkin. And I'm Vicki Engel. 4 years ago, we looked like this. Then we went on a Nutrisystem weight loss program. We ate delicious food and gained a world of confidence thanks to the support of the Nutrisystem people. I lost 90 pounds, and I lost 125 pounds. Best of all, we haven't gained a pound. Not in 4 years.
Call now to lose up to 20 pounds in 4 weeks for only $49. Accept no substitutes. Call the numbers on your screen now for a free consultation.
Our Perm Plus special, just $29.95.
I couldn't tell anybody my problem. Couldn't tell my boss, I don't feel like coming to work because I'm constipated. Some excuse. What's he going to say? Hey, take a laxative. Sure. Then get on the bus and hope that it doesn't kick in?
Then I discovered Metamucil Fiber Therapy. It has the extra fiber I need to help me stay regular, and it won't irritate like harsh chemical lamps do.
Works with your body, safely, naturally. So, with Metamucil every day, I got regular and stayed regular.
Metamucil, and you could stay regular for the rest of your life.
They all want dinner at the same time. Can you believe it? Nobody eats dinner at the same time anymore. Except sheep. But they all want dinner at the same time.
Those rare times when your family's together, be ready with banquets, hot bites, family entrees, fried chicken, even dessert pies to save you time, at prices to save you money.
We all ate at the same time. No problem.
Today's banquet. Good food that's right on the money.
Join us in our studio audience. For your free tickets, call 478-KPIX. That's 478-KPIX.
The principal is trying to improve the school. That's something that it takes a lot of guts to improve, all of a sudden come in and change the environment and try to make it a better school.
Jane, you wanted to make a comment.
Well, I've never felt scared at school, but if I had, I think the student supervisors would help a lot more than the
Explain as student supervisor.
Well, this year there's been a large increase in the amount of student supervisors around the school, just kind of patrolling or whatever.
Are these like bodyguards?
Well, not really. They just kind of guard the halls, and they're not really like guarding, but they just kind of hang around.
You think it's a positive thing to have happened?
Yeah, I mean, it helps a lot more than the fence, because the fence is just kind of there and it doesn't do anything. But the student supervisors are there to protect you if you need it, or to keep you in class.
Thank you, Jane.
Margaret, are you turned on by your classes, what you're learning, your teachers? Give me some feedback.
Well, yeah, but a lot of the really good teachers who really care about their students, they're being so underpaid that they're just going to leave. And I mean, I've heard of a lot of these teachers are talking to other school districts about taking jobs there, and I'm really kind of worried about having those teachers leave, because then we'll be left with all the ones who don't even care.
What teachers have concerns here? How many teachers here would, let's get out of this high school and go someplace where we get more support? Any teachers going to fess up to that? Anybody feel that way? Joan? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I saw a slight nod of the head. Yes.
Well, yes, this has definitely been the case. There has been movement in the past couple of years, and in 2 years, we really look forward to having the teacher salaries be equitable in comparison to the other teachers' salaries in the Bay Area.
Judy, how do you feel? You're a teacher.
I'm very concerned about our salaries in Berkeley, but I also think it's very important that people in Berkeley understand that there are some rewards from teaching at this school that come from the student body at this school that are very important to teachers.
And you mean to tell me that these students here give you a charge, you love to teach, these kids?
I do. And I think most of the teachers here... are here because we love these students. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to let our families suffer, and we've had to deal with that at the negotiating table a number of times. And the teachers in Berkeley have been low paid, and hopefully we're in the process of taking care of that and moving. We have a contract now that's moving us up at least to the median, but it's a constant issue with teachers. And 2 years ago, before we negotiated our current contract, a number of teachers, including me, were seriously considering leaving because of the salary.
Thank you.
I just want to talk about the opportunities at Berkeley High, because I've heard my other friends from other schools talk about the opportunities, and there are so many new things and more things you can do at Berkeley High.
Tell us about it.
We're one of the only schools that has all of the sports. We have crew and lacrosse and all.
I mean, we're talking, folks, we're talking the basketball team that won the league. We're talking 5th in the nation in crew. We're talking an active performing arts program, African-American dance program.
All right, Eric.
I think there are a lot of really great teachers here, but there's a problem in the history department with substituting PE teachers, driver's ed teachers for history teachers. I had one of these judo teachers, and I did not learn a thing, and it really made me mad.
Thank you.
I think all minority African-American history is very disregarded in this educational system in this country. And Berkeley High provides its students with not only a black history class, but an entire African-American studies department. We aren't talking only African Haitian dance. We have African-American journalism, literature, everything. This not only motivates me as an African-American student, but everyone else for learning about everyone else's culture.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'd like to change the subject a little here. I'd like to bring up some more positive aspects of Berkeley High. I mean, we've been kind of sitting up here ragging on our own school, when basically there's millions of incredible things about Berkeley High. I mean, that's why you're here doing the show on
That's
Berkeley
right.
campus. So I think maybe we can mix in a few positive aspects.
Like, why don't you start?
Well, we already mentioned the sports department. We got, #1 in a lot of sports. We got the Afro-American history. We've got a strong Latin curriculum and all sorts of,
Are you turned on by your classes?
I am personally a little bit. I mean, it all depends on who the teacher is. And I'm not going to say, well, we've got the best teachers and turn brown nose or anything like that. But, I mean, it all depends on who you have as to whether or not you're motivated.
Yes, sir.
I think that the violence that we've been hearing about is overrated at Berkeley High because you don't see, the fence is a deterrent. It's not going to stop anyone who really, really wants to get in, but it also discourages people. And we've been hearing a lot about all the violence. It's, for the most part, non-existent. There is some, but it's not a major.
Jeremiah.
Okay, and the thing I want to talk about is what do the teachers have to work with? They don't have to work with anything. They have awful books to work with, and sometimes they don't even have books at all. What happened was that Proposition 13 put an end to that, so what happened was that we got used to not having books at all. So then the lottery, everybody thought, well, great, that's all we need. And then Proposition 8, and that's where all the money is coming from.
So you still don't have books?
Well, I don't have any English books. We have little handouts. They give us Xeroxes instead of real books. And the books that we do have to work with are so marked up that sometimes you can't even work with it, and sometimes the teachers can't even teach from it.
So you have a healthy respect for the teachers, I would imagine, when they're working under this disadvantage.
I do, because what happens is when they have this kind of a disadvantage, they can't really teach us, and that's why we're not learning. It's not the quality of the teachers, it's the quality of the things they have to work
When we come back from a commercial break, let's talk about what AIDS awareness you have, the daycare on campus, and sex education. We'll be back in a moment.
Leo McCarthy's ads attacking Pete Wilson are false. Newspapers from Sacramento to San Diego call McCarthy's ads unfounded, false, sordid, smear tactics. The LA Daily News call McCarthy's campaign low-rent character attacks. The truth is, Pete Wilson voted for asbestos cleanup, for a crackdown on toxic polluters, for clean air, and for clean water. The truth is, you won't hear the truth from Leo McCarthy.
When you have an emergency, you want help fast. You want professionals, experts, people who will be there to help you, whether it's at night, on a weekend, or a holiday. People you can count on. Fast, reliable. So when your sewer or drain clogs, call the fast ones. Call Roto-Rooter.
You're a pretty good fisherman for a city girl.
You're not a bad cook for a country boy. All the comforts of home.
Cafe Amaretto, a coffee with a subtle taste of almonds and creamy, rich Cafe Francais from General Foods International Coffees.
This is great.
So, city girl, where are you planning on plugging this in?
Velveeta versus butter. Watch. Which melts better? Velveeta was just made to melt. Velveeta versus cheddar. See how much more smoothly, more evenly Velveeta melts. Never separates or gets oily. Try it yourself.
Velveeta versus Bazooka.
Which melts better, more smoothly, more easily? Velveeta. Velveeta really cooks.
For information about today's guests, call the People Are Talking hotline at 478-8888.
here at Berkeley High School Live. We've talked about a lot of subjects this morning. This is our last segment. Let's talk about where some of these kids are going. Dan.
I'm not 100% certain where I'm going, but I know that I have a promising future because I've gone to this school. I've had great teachers, and I just feel that I've benefited from going to such a from going to such a good school and just having all the benefits that I got from going to this school.
Thanks.
I think that schools should start drug and sex education earlier, like in elementary school, so when they get to high school and junior high, they'll know how to know knowledge.
Let me ask you, are you aware or concerned about one subject we hear so much about, and that's AIDS?
Yes, I am, and I want to know more about it.
Are you taught about it in school?
Yeah, some of my friends are concerned about the problem.
Are they fairly open in your sex education classes that young people are becoming sexually active at a younger age?
Well, sometimes they are, but mostly not.
Reuben, where are you going to go after high school? What are your plans? What are your dreams?
Well, hopefully go to DVC because I got messed up and I can't go to a four-year.
Explain DVC.
DVC is a junior college. It's a lower step to go into a four-year college. And I want to go DVC and try to turn pro going bowling. And just hopefully after DVC I go back to a four-year college.
You think you've been prepared by the school?
No and yes.
Why not?
It's just the teachers and some of the counseling. They try really hard, but it just sometimes it's not enough.
Thank you.
Yes.
I feel that if we so poor in money-wise, why don't we spend more money towards helping our kids towards learning so when we graduate from school, we'll have more knowledge to better ourselves instead of being so negative.
Tanya.
I plan to go to Stanford, and I want to study psychology for teenagers just because I feel that this is one of the toughest times that most people face in their life, and that to have people there that understand them and can relate with them is just really helpful, so that's what I plan to do.
Good for you.
I want to talk to this lady here. Why don't you stand up? You have... You are responsible for getting across this information on AIDS and all.
I'm one of the people who's
One of the people, yes.
Right. I want to say that I'm really proud to be at Berkeley High because the staff has been extremely supportive in letting me run a class where students can be open and learning about sexuality, talking about racism, learning about AIDS. We've been able to have people with AIDS in the classroom, and all the students have shown up. And it feels really good to have a community that's supportive and to be able to teach these wonderful students that come from such a wonderful variety.
Now, Nancy, if I'm a student at Berkeley High School and I have a problem and I don't want to share it in front of everybody else, and I'm really concerned, can I come to you and have confidentiality?
Of course.
Thank you.
You know, and one of the things we did not talk about this morning was the fact that Berkeley High School has a teen mother program where the teen mothers can bring their children to school, which is really, really progressive. Ian, you wanted to say something.
Yes, I would like to say about the teachers. There are a lot of good teachers at school, but there are also a lot of bad teachers at school, and they can't get rid of them because of tenure and all this stuff that they have already in there. And it's like when you enroll in a class, you don't know how much you're going to learn until you know the teacher that you get because there's such a wide, variety.
But you feel like you're learning at the school?
Yes, I do, and I feel that they're helping me prepare myself for college because it's such a hassle to do anything at the school. Clear an absence, change a grade, go to the bathroom during class. It's just such a hassle. It's going to prepare me for college. But getting me into college is not really preparing me that well because...
You don't think so, but I think there's some people who probably feel that they do.
Ken, let me ask for some final comments from you.
Well, I think that the general public has seen what a typical high school is, and I would say that this high school offers more opportunities for more students than any others. And I think it's time that we start as a total society looking at the positive things about education. We've got some improvement to go. We're good and going to get better, but let's take a look at all the positive things that we have to do.
And as parents in the community, we can't leave it to you, the administrators. We have to take responsibility ourselves. We'll be right back in a moment.
Grow up. I won't grow up. Not a penny will I pinch. Not a penny will I pinch. I will never grow a mustache. I will never grow a mustache. For a fraction of an inch. For a fraction of an inch. 'Cause growing up is awfuler than all the awful things that ever were. I won't grow up. Never grow up. Not me.
Aren't there enough hours in the day when you have to be a grown-up? Introducing the Sidekick from Suzuki.
Missy, where's my milk?
nails for teens. Smaller sizes, which means mystery press-on nails. Color. Wow. Innocent. Oh, yeah? Just peachy. Bubble gum. Awesome. That's great.
Now it's Miss Lee press-on nails, made for smaller hands. Easy to put on as regular Lee press-on nails and with 4 extra nails. 24 in all for a more perfectly beautiful fit.
Fun at your fingertips. Miss Lee press-on nails. Press on.
On a Sunday, most people in Waipahu, Hawaii, don't do much more than walk downtown for a shave ice and a little conversation. The rest of the week, they go sugarcane for C&H. So they figure they deserve to enjoy a little taste of what they've worked so hard for. We hope you do too.
Having the flu is a nightmare. Your throat's so sore. You're congested. You cough. Body aches all over. But now, there's TheraFlu, the first and only hot medicine made just for flu symptoms. TheraFlu, with a hot liquid like doctors recommend. Strong therapy for fever and cough. Strong therapy for aches and pains. Next time the flu strikes you, strike back with TheraFlu.
Tomorrow morning on People Are Talking, we'll be back in the studio, and we're going to talk to women who voluntarily gave up custody of their children. Why? Do they feel guilty? What kind of social pressures are at work? Choosing to give up custody. Tomorrow at 10 on People Are Talking.
So often when you do a program like this, people think you're always dwelling on the negative. I think when you talk about it, it ends up being positive, and there's no way we can cover all subjects in an hour. But Berkeley High School, you've been wonderful to us. Ken Scherer, thank you very much.
Yes.
For allowing us to come in with no rules. And we will be back. A nice hand for all of you. You've been wonderful. We're at Berkeley High School. Goodbye.
Good day from CBS News. This is Newsbreak. George Bush campaigns in New England today denying charges by the Dukakis forces that one of his ads is racist. Bush calls the charges absolutely ridiculous. Michael Dukakis is in California seeking that state's 47 electoral votes. He says he'll spend the last 2 weeks of the campaign fighting back against what he terms outright lying by the Bush campaign. A car bomb exploded in the South African coal mining town of Witbank today. 2 men were killed and 42 others injured. The government blames the outlawed African National Congress. Israeli planes bombed pro-Syrian targets in southeast Lebanon today, the second raid since last week's fatal attack on Israeli soldiers in Lebanon. The former Hurricane Joan, now tropical storm Miriam, threatens the Pacific coast of Guatemala and El Salvador after killing at least 50 and forcing thousands from their homes in Nicaragua. Now this.
At Play School, we know kids love phones, so we made one that even talks back.
Mr. Mac. I'm Big Bird.
Play School's Big Bird talking phone. Push the buttons, and 6 Sesame Street friends are on the line.
Hi, Big Bird.
The USS Vincennes comes home to San Diego, California today, more than 3 months after it accidentally shot down an Iranian airliner over the Persian Gulf, killing all 2